Hey, everybody. Welcome to Thursday's Clear Path Leadercast. I am glad to have you guys join me here, both in the Clear Path Leaders Forum and over on the Clear Path Coaching and Consulting YouTube page. Hopefully, if you find this information valuable, share those links with your friends. Invite your friends to join us at Clear Path Leaders Forum at clearpathcoaches.com/community. We would love to have more folks in there helping us talk about the important things about leadership. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. My name is Craig Anderson. I'm the president of Clear Path Coaching and Consulting. I spent over 30 years in corporate America. Then after that time, successfully grew a small business that we launched out of an operating not-for-profit, grew that business from $500,000 to $5 million in just 3 years. And then that business was sold, at which point I launched my Clear Path Coaching and Consulting business. And my real goal is to help accidental leaders become confident executives, whether that means they're the owner of their own business or a corporate executive looking to grow their career. So much of what I can bring to the coaching relationship is that understanding of, one, what it's like to work in corporate America and all the various and sundry pressures that are on you. But what I have also found a lot of value as I bring with business owners is helping them to build the policies, processes, and people skills to help move their business forward, taking those lessons I've learned in corporate America and scaling them to the small business format. That's how I got my business to grow so fast before we sold that after 3 years. So welcome all of you who are joining. I see some people joining in now. If you have any questions as we go through, you can drop a line in the comments. I will see it. If you've approved StreamYard in your feed, I'll see your name as well. But either way, I'll see the comments and answer any questions that you have. So let's talk about what our topic today. And our topic today is really focusing on how you know when you're ready to leave. And what inspired all this, if you can't see it behind me, the nerd stuff over here and back over here. Sorry, everything's a little turned around. I'm a big time superhero fan and science fiction fan. And I was watching Star Trek Discovery. And during an episode I was watching from season 3, the captain of the Discovery said to someone who was putting in charge for the very first time, part of leadership is the acknowledgement that one is suited for it. And that is a big, in a few words, that's actually a really big topic for potential leaders. You have to first accept that you are suited for leadership before you can actually move into leadership effectively. Now, there's a whole lot of people in leadership roles who may not believe they are suited for it. Frankly, there's a lot of people in leadership roles who are not suited for it. And we'll touch on that a little bit today too. So we really are talking about a few core things here and knowing you're ready to lead. These are things like mindset and having vision and having humility. These are some of the core things that if you can bring those to the table, if you have the proper mindset for leadership, if you have the vision for where you want people to go and can get people behind you, and humility to realize that, it's not all about you, those are a great launching point for a leadership career. And if you can bring those to the table, you can have faith in your leadership skills. And when you don't have faith, when we talk about knowing you're suited for leadership, this leads to things we've talked about before in Clear Path Leadercast around imposter syndrome and not believing you really have the authority that you do bring to the table. So these are the important things for us to think about as we go through and begin our leadership journeys, or if we're already on that leadership journey, to reinforce and strengthen our own leadership skills. So let's talk about these 3 areas. First thing I want to talk about is mindset. Mindset is so significant. We talk a lot about it, and maybe some of you roll your eyes when I say mindset because it's just such a term that gets thrown around. But in the mindset area, there's really 3 things that I want you to think about where your mindset is on your leadership journey. Is 1, leaders act and drive from faith, and not religious faith, although that can be part of it as well, but really faith that you believe the job can be done, faith in your skills to get it done, even when it's hard going, never losing faith of where you're headed. There are always roadblocks. There are always things that are going to get in the way, but you have to have that unwavering faith that we can achieve the goal and that you have it in you to do it. And this doesn't mean it's all sitting on you to do it, but that you know how to surround yourself with the right people and the right process. And that where you don't know those things, you will reach out and get the help that you need. And that ties into our humility in a little bit too. So the core thing I want you to think about as you enter into these leadership roles is faith. If you're a business owner who started out just because you really enjoyed the area you're in, be that accounting or marketing or law, that you're really good in your subject matter and area of expertise. And as a result, your business has grown, but now it's grown so big, you need to get people around you. You have to have faith in that original vision of helping people through whatever product or service it is you're doing, through your own particular zone of genius. And then build those leadership skills, have faith in it, reach out, get the training, get the people around you, but have faith that you can get this job done. Faith is so crucial. And it's, I will tell you, there was a point in time where I was leading a team through a very difficult transition. As a group of about 70 people who were at the center of a battle between two big companies. And it was a very early role, a major leadership role for me in my career. And for the most part, I was bringing people together every day, giving them updates. But there was just one day in this big meeting of 70 people over the phone, kids, because this was before Zoom, doing this over the phone, where I lost my faith, and it showed. Not that I broke down, but just, I was quick to anger on that call. And, I had a guy who worked for me who was a great guy. And he pulled me aside after that meeting. He said, Craig, you need to understand that you're setting the tone for this whole team, and they're going to look to you to how to react. So it's really, I lost my faith for a moment, and it cracked. And that's when I realized I had to have faith that we would get through this together, and that the power of the team was greater than the power of these two corporations fighting over us. And when we stuck together, and that's where I was able to come back and stay on that message. So it's really important to have faith in where you're going and to stay steadfast in that faith. The other thing is, another key aspect is, can you carry the weight? I had a client say to me, one of the things about leadership is that you can carry the burden of it better than other people. That's what makes successful leaders. And a lot of times people go into leadership roles because they think they'll make more money, or no one will tell them what to do. And that's not the case. There is a burden of leadership when you are responsible for multiple lives, be that 70 people, 400 people, or thousands of people. And that carries a lot of weight. You're making big decisions that impact your clients, it impacts your employees, it impacts your investors. And it's painful sometimes to carry that weight. And this goes back to faith, having faith in yourself, and then knowing that you can carry this burden that you may have sought to carry, or it was thrust upon you and you were placed in a leadership role. So it's really important that, one, you acknowledge the weight of leadership and find the support systems to help you get through it. Be that having a therapist or a coach, be that surrounding yourself with other similarly situated leaders who can talk to you on the level you're at. There's different ways you can kind of get support to carry that weight, but it's so important that you do. So that's another piece to think about, is I'm taking on a lot of weight. Where am I building? Where do I have the capacity to get support for that? And if you're ready to make that admission that you are going to need help to carry that burden, that's going to make you a better leader. And then the other piece of mindset, as it ties back to leadership, is opportunity. I read a quote the other day that just, said leaders, where other people see the end, that's where leaders see the opportunity. And we're going to touch on this in vision as well, is to see those opportunities when there's, maybe wreckage all in front of you and everything looks lost and everyone's looking to you. What are we going to do? Where can you find those opportunities? I am not a big failure guy. Frankly, I would rather not fail. I'd rather succeed and just move on. But I understand the importance of learning from failure. So when that failure occurs and you're in that leadership position, and whether you want to admit it or not, failure always rests on you as the leader. Even if it was other members of the team that made mistakes, what were you doing to get out of that? So never, the buck stops here. It's an important thing to remember when you're in a leadership role. But when that failure occurs, where do you see the opportunities to learn and grow and move your business and your people forward? That's such an important piece, to see that opportunity, get your mind trained and that mindset set to see opportunity. So as you're thinking about, do I have the right mindset for leadership? Think about, have I got the ability to stay faithful in my belief of where I'm taking the company? Do I have the ability to see opportunity in failure? And am I prepared to carry the weight and get the support I need around me to be successful? So that's the mindset piece when we talk about being ready and suited for leadership. And someone may see that in you, that you have that in you, and tap you for a leadership role. You may not see it in yourself, but it's important for you to see it when it's pointed out to you. So that's one, the first part, mindset. Now let's talk about vision. Vision is another piece that's so successful. So you have faith in a vision that you can achieve, but you've got to have real clarity on that vision so you can define what success looks like. And I'm not talking about saying we'll be the number one company, which is okay to have as a vision, but really getting down into the details in your vision of what that looks like from a revenue perspective, a people perspective, the kind of people we have on the team, the kind of clients we go after, how we treat our clients, how we treat our employees. Really getting clear on what that vision of success looks like, because you want to be able as the leader to paint that picture of that vision in such detail that the people around, and then communicate that vision effectively, that the people around you can see and pull and buy into that vision and see how they're contributing to that vision. And when you have vision down like that, that's going to allow you to bring a whole team together. It gets increasingly hard. Maybe your company's started out successfully and you've got 5 or 10 people, and suddenly you find yourself having 30 or 40. How can you create such a compelling vision in such a clear way that all those people buy into it and all those people see how they contribute to that vision and how what they do every day aligns with it, so that you can start driving them forward and they come along for the ride, you want the journey that you're inviting them to be on. So painting that clear vision is a crucial leadership skill. And that works in small business and that works in corporate America. As I was running sales teams, and sales teams are always emotional teams that have a lot going on, and you need to paint that clear vision of where we're going as a company. So the CEO or the division chair in the company, in the corporation, wherever you're kind of aligned, needs to be able to paint that clear vision of where we're taking that division or that team, so that you can start to move that business forward. So are you guys with me so far? Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, or whatever. If you're thinking about, just let me know you're out there. If you have any questions, please do drop them in the chat. We're bringing it into the home stretch here for today's Clear Path Leadercast. So the last piece I want to talk about, and this is something that is where a lot of leaders trip up and fall, and this is ego. You have to be able as a leader to check your ego at the door. I'll never forget an experience I had in corporate America where there was a guy who got promoted kind of a level above me over a team that was off adjacent from me. And this guy, the guy was a jerk about it. I mean, this promotion went 100% to this guy's head. And when I would try and have a conversation with him, he would say, "Hey, I am at this level now. That the person on your team at that level is this person. I don't talk to you. I talk to them." And left it at that, like that was some sort of gospel truth. And that ego initially will get you pretty far. People will be attracted to that level of what they see as confidence, and they will follow you for a while, but they're not going to follow you forever. And when you fall off that ego perch, you're going to fall hard. And I'll never forget that same guy a few years later was no longer in that role, was no longer even with the company, couldn't find a job, called me as he was networking to find a job. And I called him back, because you never know when you're going to need to have a good network. So I always try and call people back. And he said to me, he said, "Craig, it's so weird. You're the only person who has called me back." I'm like, "Well, it's not that weird. You didn't treat people real well because you let your ego get the better of you." So that ego is the first place where you may fall as a leader. So a lot of times you get in a leadership role and you think, "Hey, look at how great I am. This is all about me." And again, people get kind of pulled into that tribalism, but it doesn't last very long. The cult of personality leader is not a sustainable long-term leader. You have to have humility as a leader to realize that, you probably don't know all the answers. It's really hard as you progress into higher and higher leadership positions, or as your business grows and grows, to know everything that's going on in the business. And if your ego is such that I know all the things and I know how to get things done, you're going to lose control of the details, and you're going to start jumping to certain conclusions based on your security and your own knowledge. because you're missing all the things that are going down and around at the ground level in your company and your customer interactions and your people interactions. So you have to have the humility as a leader to realize, one, I don't know all the answers. Two, I need to build relationships with my team because that's where I'm going to get the good information. I wasn't sitting there, I made sure as a leader things were getting done and I was monitoring the results and tracking progress. But the really great ideas that I had to move the business forward typically started from the people I talked to in the business, by reaching out, understanding what's working for you. And then, hey, if that's working for you, how can it work here? How can we build on that process that you've identified to grow all of the business successfully? You've got to have humility to realize you don't know all the answers. It's not all about you. There's a whole world going on around you. There's a lot of people in leadership positions, but the ones who are going to stay long and be successful and secure are the ones who can check their ego at the door, realize that they are leading with humility, and that humility will let them get the information they need so that they have the answers to move the business forward. So humility is such a core thing to think about. So that's where we're focused today. 3 things. Leadership. Are you suited for leadership? Well, let's check it off. Do you have the right mindset? Do you have the vision? And do you have the humility? Can you work through all those things? And there's a lot of other skills you're going to build on over time in leadership, but those 3 core skills are what's going to make you an effective leader right out of the gate. And if you know you have that, or when other people see that in you, they're going to know that you are suited for leadership and ready for a leadership role. So some of that may have resonated with you. You're in a leadership role. Maybe you've already done those things and you're facing some challenges as you're growing and scaling your business. I would like to invite you on Monday, August 16th, and you've seen it here on the scroll at the bottom, to my leadership seminar, From Accidental Leader to Confident Executive, August 16th. I've only got 2 seats left in that session. I'll open up another session the next week, but that's going to be Monday afternoon at 5. Or 4, I think. At any rate, if you go through and register at clearpathcoaches.com/seminar, you can get yourself registered for that session. And then I'll also open up another one as well. We'll be promoting that in the Clear Path Leaders Forum. So please follow us on Facebook. Just go out to Facebook, search for Clear Path Leaders Forum. You can join our group there. We'd love to have you there to help promote the discussions we have about leadership every day. To get a free preview of our blog, jump in there. But more importantly, please join me for the seminar. You're going to leave that seminar with 3 actionable tips that you can take to improve your leadership of your business or within your company that you're working for. So that's it for today. Stay humble, my friends. Check that ego at the door. Keep yourself with a vision. Develop your ability to have a vision and to communicate that vision, and focus on your mindset and your beliefs. That's what's going to make you well suited for leadership. That's it for today on the Clear Path Leadercast. See you all next week. Take care.